Hey everyone, John here from testprepinsight.com, and today I'm going to be doing our ranking of the best DAT study materials on the market heading into 2025. We've just finished re-reviewing and rating out a bunch of different prep courses and practice materials, so today we're going to rank them for you and give you a quick rundown on each. And just as a heads up, since I'm just going to be covering the high points today, if you find you need some more detail at any point during this video, I'll just say that we also have a full written guide over on our website that has way more information. The quickest way to find that is probably just to Google Test Prep Insight Best DAT Prep Courses. That's the fastest way to get there. Okay, so in total, we purchased and evaluated almost 10 different DAT study products, including a nice mix of prep courses, books, and practice test banks. And of all of the study materials that we looked at, the best and most effective prep resource that we found was DAT Bootcamp. And here's why we give their course the highest grade. Really effective video lessons, the most realistic DAT practice problems that we've tested, the written study materials are very useful, and then lastly, they have a great study schedule. So let's look at these features in a little bit more detail, starting with the video lessons. In short, their course is built around hundreds of short video lectures, and we found them to be really effective as an instructional component. Each one is fairly short, and they cover all of the essential need-to-know material, and frankly, they're just really engaging. And if I was going to call out one particularly important highlight, it would have to be the series of chemistry videos from Dr. Mike. They are absolutely awesome for chemistry instruction. Dr. Mike is engaging, very knowledgeable, and he's a great communicator. Plus, Bootcamp has a bunch of video breakdowns of their practice problems too, which are also really helpful. And then on the second point of practice work, like I said, Bootcamp has the most realistic practice work that we've reviewed, especially with respect to the perceptual ability material, which is probably the most critical aspect of the DAT. Again, we looked at close to 10 different companies' practice tests and problems, and Bootcamps were just the best. Their practice questions are fairly realistic in terms of question format, content length, and difficulty, and we just thought they closely mirrored the real thing. Plus, they also provide more practice work than just about everybody else with 13,000 practice problems and 10 full-length tests, so it's a really strong program for practice-oriented learners. And then there's the study notes and cheat sheets that Bootcamp provides. They are really good as well, especially the study notes. They're the perfect balance of detail and brevity, and they're packed with tons of visuals, which I think really helps. They distill everything you need to know for each topic of the DAT down into just a few dozen pages. And we thought these materials were especially good for on-the-go studying. And then lastly, there's Bootcamp's study schedule. To be honest, it wasn't my favorite study plan in terms of interface and integration, but it does provide a really detailed outline of what to study on a day-by-day basis, which I think is really important. For people looking for guidance and who don't want to have to guess at what to study and when, this is a nice tool. But that's kind of Bootcamp in a nutshell and why we give their course such a high rating. But to be clear, it wasn't all positives here. We did find a couple small negatives as well. The first is that there are no printed or hard copy written materials with this prep course. It's 100% digital. That can be an issue for heavy text-based learners and those people who don't want to print anything out. And then the other thing is that although we like the detail and structure of their study schedule, we think it could be better integrated into your student portal. It's a standalone PDF, and it could be way cleaner and easier to use if it was just a central component of the dashboard. But overall, these are just two small negatives. And then the last point I want to make here is that Bootcamp is actually a pretty good value compared to the other big DAT prep providers. The standard Bootcamp course, called DAT Bootcamp Pro, costs just $519, and even their premium package with extra practice material and a longer content access period is just $919. As you'll see here in a minute, that's a pretty solid bargain. And even at that, DAT Bootcamp is almost always running some sort of sale, usually for 10% off, so make sure to look for coupon codes before buying. In fact, I'll do my best to keep the description down below the video screen updated with the most current coupon codes that I can find floating around out there, so make sure to check that out. You should not have to pay full price with DAT Bootcamp. Okay, so the second highest rated course on our list is Kaplan. And to be clear up front here, on the whole, we give Bootcamp's course a much better overall grade. We just think their course is more comprehensive and deep. But with that said, we do think Kaplan has one very important use case: live classes. If you're the type of student that needs live classes, whether because you want the hand-holding and guidance, or you just need the accountability of a regular class schedule to stay committed to your studying, Kaplan is going to be your answer. Across 36 hours of live class time, Kaplan spoon feeds you everything that you need to know for the exam. Their instructors are really knowledgeable, and they're also great communicators. Plus, the lesson plans are very efficient and thoughtfully designed, And they assign you targeted work after each class, which directly ties in with your instruction. This Kaplan Live Online course has much more of a traditional college course feel to it than bootcamp's, well, bootcamp style self-paced program. And again, speaking of bootcamp, I did just want to note that they now technically offer live classes too, but just in the form of crash courses. These are intensive 3-hour dives on particular subjects, and they are really good for that narrow purpose. If you're struggling on one particular topic, their crash courses are great for fixing some of your weaknesses. But in terms of live classes, they just can't really compare to Kaplan's because the Kaplan live classes are structured around a course-long curriculum, and they cover everything. They build on each other and flow from class to class. It's just a much different framework than bootcamp's one-off workshops. They both have their purpose, but if you're looking for live classes as the central component of your study plan, then our team thinks Kaplan is the way to go here. And of course, the rest of Kaplan's coursework is solid as well. They also give you on-demand videos, a Q bank, full-length mock exams, and a bunch more. It's just that on the whole, we feel that bootcamp rates out higher. And one last thing here, Kaplan's course is also frequently on sale, so again, make sure to check below for discount codes. I almost always see this package for 10% off. And then lastly, the final course that I want to talk about today is Princeton Review. And kind of like Kaplan, we think Princeton Review has a very unique use case. It's for those people that want total assurance that they're going to crush the DAT. And I say this because of their 20+ score guarantee. And that's just what it sounds like. They have a course offering that guarantees that you're going to score 20 or better on the exam, which roughly translates to a 70th percentile score. And that's a score that's going to make you very competitive in the admissions process. Again, kind of like the Kaplan situation, we think Princeton Review has very solid all-around prep materials with all the essentials that you're going to need, like video lessons, live classes, practice problems, detailed question explanations, a study planner, and more. But on the whole, bootcamp simply gets the highest grade. But again, if you're looking to take zero risk here and you want a guaranteed top-tier score or your money back, it's a great option for that. Basically, hit the 70th percentile or get your tuition back. It's a really nice promise. However, the one last thing that I'll say here is, as you might imagine, this course is not cheap. It costs roughly $2,000, almost 4 times the price of bootcamp's standard course, so do keep that in mind. But anyway, that's kind of it for this video, so let's wrap this up with some final thoughts here. But actually, before I forget, I should just mention that since you're studying for the DAT, we actually give away a free prep course every single month to one lucky person. It's really easy to enter. Just do the 3 simple things listed right here on screen. It'll take you less than 10 seconds, and hey, you never know, you could win a totally free DAT prep course. Okay, so my final verdict here. Which course should you go with to study for the DAT? Well, while we think there are a couple of specific and important use cases for Kaplan and Princeton Review, mainly if you want live classes or a guaranteed score of 20 or better, at the end of the day, if you're simply looking for the best overall DAT prep course or study material on the market, we think that's DAT Bootcamp. With some really effective video lessons, the most realistic DAT practice problems that we've seen, super useful study notes and cheat sheets, and a great study schedule, that's the prep course that I would personally go with. But anyway, I hope this video has been helpful and you learned a little something. If so, please return the favor and subscribe to our channel. Best of luck in your DAT prep journey.